Okay, topic one. Depression. I mean, I've never been clinically depressed. I've never been somewhere and being diagnosed with depression. Because I don't want to be. I don't want to. And I feel like some of that would probably include a medication. And I don't want to be on medication. I don't want to. So, I deal with it in my own way. Which sucks. I hate it. But the month of December and the end of November have not been a great month for me. I talked with a close friend of mine that I haven't talked to in a while, but we used to be more than friends, and that got me thinking about things I don't want to be thinking about, and now that got me for like 4 days and such, and I was feeling pretty down about that. And then one of my coworkers took vacation, and him taking vacation is not like directly responsible for me being depressed. It's just kind of indirectly, because a couple months ago the boss was like, hey, we're gonna change schedules, right? We're gonna stop coming in 9-hour shifts, 9-hour work days with half an hour lunch breaks. We're gonna try and actually do 8-hour work days, right? And that helped me a ton when that happened. I had energy when I got home from work to work on my project, which I haven't touched since like the beginning of December, which really sucks, because that's gonna push the finish date back. Right. So that was helping me, and I was doing better. And I was getting more of my personal work done, and doing a lot more thinking, and just kind of feeling better, right? And so when my coworker went on vacation, while he's on vacation, I have to go back to these 9-hour work days to make sure that part that he would normally cover is covered. Right, and try and get everything done that a 3-person crew does, or close to it. Which we don't always succeed, but most of the time it's well enough to where we can get almost everything done. So that's indirectly, and the fact is that he took like a week of vacation, and then he was back for one of those days during the week, and then he left again, and then he's back. So my schedule, the time I wake up in the morning for work and the time I have to get to work, keeps changing on me. And so instead of a steady schedule, it's flip-flopping all over the place, and that is not fun. That is not good, right? And then the last 2 weeks it was too cold to do these walks, and these walks are actually helpful to me, being out in nature. And though it's not hard exercise, it is exercise, and that's helped me too. And there's that, right? And then the last few days, this is the most recent, this last 2 days, because this last week I had mostly a normal schedule, right? Everybody was in on Monday. Tuesday, my boss took off, and I was supposed to come in early, but I thought when he told me that he was joking, so I ended up coming in when I normally would, which made me late, which didn't get me yelled at, but got me a phone call while I was on the work thinking I was on time, and being told I'm running late. And then, yeah, I'm a good employee, but tardiness is a problem I have. So that didn't reflect very well because I've been working on it. And I've been, for the most part, on time in the last several weeks or month to work. So there's that. And then I come upon this realization that I'm getting closer and closer to not being able to, I'm working 40 hours a week. I don't have a minimum wage job, and I'm not making enough money to pay all my bills and advance my personal projects. Right? Like, if this costed me money to do, I'd have to stop doing it. A good thing this doesn't cost me any money. Well, I got some other walkers about to pass me. Good. How you doing? Yeah. They're walking in the same direction I am, so I'm gonna let them go a little bit further so they're not in the video. So it's just kind of frustrating, and I'm depressed. And then on Friday, after I got off work, I talked a bit with my boss and asked him, I don't remember exactly what brought the conversation up, but he talked to me about, and I have an addiction that I don't go into specifics over, and my boss knows this now. I don't like to go into specifics over it at all, because talking about it makes it more likely to happen. But he's talking to me about some things that on some level make some sense. He's my boss, but he's 20 years older than me, right? So he's talking about how let's talk about fire. He correlated to fire. You need fuel, you need oxygen. I have the body. I have a good body. I breathe in the oxygen, so that's, I have the energy, technically, most of the time. But I just don't have, apparently, that spark right now. And he's like, you should be running circles around me at work, and you're not. And I'm pretty much running circles around you, And he's 50-something, I'm 30-something, and he was like, it's just as if, like, I was working with a 70-year-old. That's what he said. He was working with a 70-year-old, but the 70-year-old was running circles around him. Just like, okay. All right. And it told me to stop being selfish. Still trying to figure that one out. I don't know. It's just... So... I struggle here. Depression is something I struggle with, and it's usually short term. It's usually like a couple days. Something's on my mind. Like, I'm trying to think, because I used to have that spark. I used to have that spark so badly that one of my exes called me Sparky, because I was just great, laughing and smiling and just having a grand old time. In my early 20s into about my mid 20s, and I can't recapture that spark. It's there sometimes, but it's very short-lived. It's very, very short-lived, and so it's just a giant struggle. And this month has not been kind to me. It is Christmas, and I have just not felt the Christmas spirit at all. That sucks. But I'm just, and then the depression always comes with buffering. That's what they call it. I'm more likely to engage in my addiction. Right? Because an addiction is a buffer. And then I'm more likely to get more depressed. Right? It's a cycle, and I can feel when I'm about to enter that depression cycle. And I try so very hard. I imagine it like I'm going in a circle, just a circular path, right? Not saying that there's a cycle or anything, just a circular path. And then suddenly I'm not on a level path that's circular. I am on a corkscrew, and I'm going down the corkscrew. And it also engages me in, I don't think I binge eat. Binge eat is not the right thing. It's not my comfort. But I do end up not sleeping, which then causes more problems. And then I oversleep, which causes the same problem, funny enough. Like, I didn't sleep enough one day this last week. 4 hours of sleep, I think, total. The next day I slept 12 hours. Both days I was yawning all day long, tired. I had to work. That's not a good thing either, to go to work tired. He's telling me to lengthen my stride and all these other things. And just, I've been spending the last 2 days thinking about it. Spark. Why can't I recover this dumb spark that I used to have? Why, I was talking about my addiction a little bit. Give it to Christ. It's not your addiction. He already paid for it. Just give it to him. Like, how do I do that? Right? And then selfishness. I'm like, how am I selfish? And that hit me the hardest, because I'm like, I don't go out and volunteer for anything. I am donating plasma, but that's like, so I have extra income to be able to afford the car I bought. But it's not good. I worked for a long time not to be selfish. And to hear somebody that I spend 8 some odd hours a day, for 5 days a week, and 40 hours a week, tell me that I'm selfish, that I need to stop being selfish. I was like, okay, I'm selfish? Really? Think so? How? Why? Is it, I'm just trying to take care of myself. Do my basic needs. And in a way, someone I look up to. He has a lot of things that I wish I had in my life. He's married to someone he believes is beautiful. Not saying his wife is not beautiful, but he believes it, and that's the important thing, right? Because I want to be married to someone I think is beautiful. And then he has family. I don't really have a family. I mean, I have my sister and my brother, who I talked to my sister the last time I talked to her was a few lines of text messages that were like, happy birthday and Thanksgiving. Right after Thanksgiving, or right before Thanksgiving. Right after Thanksgiving. That was it. That's the last time I talked to her. It's Christmas. Right? My little brother, last time I talked to him was before he went in jail. He's been in jail, now in prison, for a couple years now. All right? I talked to my mom, talked to my dad and my great aunt and my cousin who lives here. But, I mean, I did talk to my cousin yesterday. But it's like, I said hello, asked how she was doing, she asked how I was doing, told her the Christmas party that invited to me, I had fun, and that the food was really good. And then I ran out of things to talk about, so I asked what the plans were for today and tomorrow, or Christmas plans, so I could be involved in that. But it's like, small talk with you is impossible or difficult, or I don't know how to do it. And it's over text, so it's even worse, than in person. And then basically the conversation with my mom was about how she's doing. She's not doing great because the employee under her quit because some things at work weren't related to my mom, but my mom takes care of old people in an old folks home, so it was one of the tenants that caused the employee to quit. But it's frustrating. It is super cold right now, but I'm looking at this water and it's like I want to take a swim. And this is not water you want to swim in. It's not clean water, but it's a body of water, and I haven't swam in a while, and I haven't swam in a body of a river like water. It's a very mild river, but it's still a river in a long time. So my boss is a great family. And then the most thing that I want that he has, he loves his job. I'd love to love my job. Something I'm not just good at, but I love doing. And I don't have that. And I'm trying to build it, but I'm said something is stopping you. And there is something stopping me, and it's me. And I've never figured out how to overcome myself. And it's beyond frustrating. And it's frankly quite depressing to me. But my challenges are different than his, as my challenges are different from most people's. And I have moved beyond the point at which I have to remind myself, yes, you've mastered that, you moved beyond the point. I used to hate myself. I used to have loathing. And I've never hurt myself for it. Not physically. I mean, I have, back when I was a teenager, hit myself in the head with a textbook repeatedly, or hit my head on the desk when I made a stupid mistake. Right? But it's always it's translated less to a physical and I was those were just kind of that was a dumb moment. Hit yourself in the head with it, now it's, and most of the time being positive, but having the you were dumb. Yeah, that was dumb, kind of thing. But now it's the opposite. Sorry, I used to mentally fog myself for every mistake, for every return to something that I thought I'd given up, that I thought was bad and I didn't want, and then I returned to it. And I've grown away from the hate of myself, but I'm still not happy with myself. And there's still anger there. And as far as I can tell, and sometimes being the person who's in it, you're a little too close. But as far as I can tell, I am not where was I going? I don't know where I was going. As far as I can tell, I'm not I lost the train of thought. I have searched my history mentally. And as far as I can tell, I'm not holding any anger towards a specific person back. I'm not holding on to any hate towards any single individual. Right? I'm at peace with the men in general humanity term that ever wronged me. And I can only think of a couple examples that are strong enough memories to remember specifically what they did to wrong me. All right. And that anger is just not there for them. As far as I can tell. I might be holding on to something that I just can't see because I'm too close to it, and I don't think I'm holding on to it, but I am. But as far as I can tell, I'm not. It's just anger for myself. Towards myself. Well, enough with the depressing. Lot longer video than normal, but I always talk about some topics that are deep for me. So, if you have any advice, don't tell me to go see a doctor. I won't do it. I already went to therapy once, and it was minorly helpful, but it was not helpful enough, and I can't afford it anyway. So, you have any advice for figuring out how not to hate yourself? Post it. Put a comment. Okay. Mr. Decker out on the topic 2.